Hello everyone, and welcome to another round of recording. And in this recording, we'll be helping out someone who is learning 3D modeling. Now, I'm going to make this as simple as I can possible. Simple as possible as I can. So let's make this character for them. Just intro steps. Just to get them used to how to do things. You don't do that. You get out of that. Then drag this in. And we need to throw out that. I forgot to do what's the graphic mode? Oh, because it's been dropped in from a different area. Let me reset that then. One. Okay. That's good. Side. So this is my first time working with there you go. Working with the different type of layout. So anyway, now that we have her in here, we want to create a new category, drop the cube in there, select this category, and we're going to create the model. So we start off with the cube and work our way up. So we want to take the cube and in edit mode and move it into position. I believe you mainly want to help around the arms or the continuation of everything. So I'm going to show you how to do that. There you go. I don't know why it disconnected. So let's have transparency on so we can see what we're doing. And right now we're going to shrink it down to the actual size of the model. We'll come back and re-sculpt everything after we have everything the way we need it to be. So we'll bring this down, bring it back out. And now we want to do the arms. So we are going to Control R, bring it up here to where the arm actually we need to separate it from the neck. When the arms come out, which is right around here, and we're going to move this. We're going to add another one then. Just shrink this down. Actually, it can come from there. I never did it like that before, but we can do it. Have it come right after the neck. She seems like the type that model that would do that. Go sneeze. Okay. Back to what we was doing. So we are going to export x-axis, and we are going to flatten this out on x-axis, and we are going to get the actual length of the arm by Control R, taking this and stopping somewhere around in the middle, and we're going to flatten this one out too. So like that, S0 X, and flatten it out like that. And we are going to take all of these and we are going to rotate them. Ooh, 3D-ified. Anyway, that's not what I want. It's supposed to be on local, not global, because global is wrong anyway. Why do I keep unselecting? Oh, there you go. So, oh, I pushed E, that's why. Select them, rotate them, and we're going to move it down to right around here, down around here, and we're going to select these and double tap G to shrink it down to where that is. And then for the hand length, we're going to extrude from G, extrude from there onto the longest finger. We can go a little bit longer just to set the length. And now we have the length of the arm. Now we're going to push the plus button, Control plus, and we're going to rotate it back to flatness. And we're going to put it back up here. So now we have the length of the arm and then the length of the hand. So now we're going to take this and make a wrist. And take this and make an elbow point. And then we're going to bevel it with B by pushing B. This is set up all wrong. Control B. And we're going to split it so far. And then roll the scroll wheel up to add one in the center. We can add more, but we just need 3. 3 is a good number for joint curves. Because we got the joint end, joint start, and then joint in the middle. That bends out like that, and then that can go straight down. So, so let's look what we got so far. We got the arm, and the jacket and everything is 3D. Let's go back to this view. And we're going to split her in half with Control R. And now we're going to do that again. Control R, split it in half. Enter. Enter or escape, whatever one you choose. And now we're going to move this over the x-axis, if you can still follow it. And we want to do it right here where her pants connect. And then we want to come down and extrude down to where her shoe starts. Now here's where we get unique with it. We can match the pose, or we can make her feet straight as a 3D model feet and body should make. It should be in a T-pose, a flat arm pose, and a flat foot pose, line foot pose. Regardless the model, it should be in that direction, unless the shape or the motion of the shape is going to be indifferent than that, in which you would want to compromise for that. Okay, now you want to take this side, these sides, and match her hip, which is right here. So double G that, and bring it up to her hip. And now we have that. Now we can select this side and delete it. Where's these guys? Okay. And then go down to this wrench. Go to modify, go to mirror. And now we have the exact same model mirrored on the other side. Now the rest of it is stylistic choice. But we want to take this and add another joint in here, preferably closer. And then take this and move it down or straight to here. Basically what we could do is just take a joint, map it out to here, and straighten it with Z and zero it out, and push enter, and move it down on the y-axis just a bit. And now we want to add a in-between, so another Control R, and then we want to widen this out. As you can see, it's widening out. It's getting wider and wider. So we want to increase the size by a little, and we can match the size if we G it and move it to the side and see how the sides look. And then we want to bring this out and match the sides, the hips. So G, X, move it on out. And that's about it. Alright, and now we want to make sure that this model is in the middle. So we're going to turn on clipping, and we're going to push S, 0, X, and push enter, and then drag it all the way into the center, over to the left, or to the right if you're doing the other side. And and then push X to make sure that it stays level. See, the top side is not pulling away. I mean, the top side is pulling away, which means that they're not centered together, and then the bottom side is centered. So we want to make sure that all of it is centered by connecting them like so. If you want, you can turn it off if you want to go in between the lines, but I like to keep clipping one. And so let's start on her fingers by selecting her hand and shrinking it down by a little. And then we can add some loops right here, right halfway. Have the fingers come out. So we want to GG and turn it back down. Or you can just Control R and redo the Control R and move it back down. Have the fingers more pronounced. Alright. And this will be the sections where the fingers are. And this is the arm. So let's fix the arm in which the jacket will be. I like to make my models naked before clothing them because it's a lot easier to get the proportions right before adding so much detail and stuff. So this is just the way I do it. So for now, this will be her inner body before making the clothes. That's also why it's not matching completely, because it needs some thickness before we match it all the way. So now we want to get this, and we're going to match it down to here, and select this side, GG, match it down to the pants. Now we have a section of the pants. The shoes can be made separate. We can line it up with the shoe and then angle it for it. Also, we're not going to make her feet go outwards. We can do that in animation, but in posing for the normal base model, we're not going to do any of the extra points of view just like that. We want to make sure that the extra point, the basic point of view is basic and nothing more. Although we can add, make the shoe out of this torso, kneecap, because the knee is right here. Let's mark that. Knee is right there. Okay, enter, and then we can Control B and pull away and bevel it. Okay, now we have kneecaps, and it's congruent to the spacing. Alright, and now let's continue on with the shoes. Want to X out of that. Actually, let's just make it from here. Let's mark it right here, and bring this down on the axis to right here. And let's exit out of that, duplicate this with Shift D, and then go into it and select all of this, and then Control I, and then delete all that vertices, so it just be the shoe left. And so now we can grab it, move it over, and make it the same width as the shoe here. We can also keep it relatively even. Now we're gonna grab it, move it back in, and match it with her leg. Alright. Now we are going to come into 3D view and fix everything. We're gonna turn this off so we can see. So first let's do the shoes. Actually, let's do the body. So come out of that, go into the body, and we're going to select the whole bottom half. So turn on the transparency. Select the whole bottom half and skillet in. Skillet y-axis. If you're on another axis, make sure that you're scaling it properly. Scale it in until somewhere around, I want to say here. And we need to do the same thing to her torso. But we are going to hold down Alt and right click here, and we are going to take it and scale it with this over here. So you can push O as the shortcut, as you see right there, or you can just stop right there. And we're going to scale this down the same as we did that, only to match the Z axis though. So let's go to y-axis, y-axis, and scale it down to the same length, if not smaller. There you go. So now we have a 3D model of her body. Now it's not perfect, so we're going to fix that. And we're going to take it from this hip and move it back on the y-axis. You can strengthen it or loosen it depending on how far this leg down here is going. Anyway, I'm going to move this back right around here. Move this back forward. Just this part, the inner leg. And by association, the other part of the leg should go forward. Alright. Now we need her gluteus maximus. So we have the underwear shape, but we need something in between. So we need to add one more shape to bring out her buttocks. Or unless you want her to be a flat, no dump truck. Okay, let me chill with the analogies. Turn off this. Turn it off. And then we're going to G on y-axis to bring it out to a reasonable degree. Same with her shirt. We're going to bring it out on the y-axis to a reasonable degree. So now her back should be longer than her front. Alright, and let's turn on the transparency. Let's make her shirt now by clipping out a print. So we can go to Control R and add a loop cut somewhere around here. If you're not happy with how she looks on the side view, then you can modify the side view right now while you still can. I'm a little bit happy with it. We can bring it in some. So select all of the top half, not the legs, but the top half, and not S, Y, not control. S, scale it, and on the y-axis, bring it in some. I think that's good. And while we here, move it back some. Y-axis. Move this back. Y-axis. Alright. I'm not too worried about this right now. But we could start worrying about it after we straighten out this leg. Alright. It's been flat so far on this side, on this angle. So let's add some depth to this model. So Control R and add that cut in between here. So it's all the way through the model. So this side is strength enough. So we want to take the forward and backwards. We can add one more curve. We can add one more curve for the heck of it. One more curve through here. There you go. And now we have the curve for the jacket too. Correct? Yes. We have the curve for the jacket. Alright. So we have the t-shirt cut out, and we have the curve for the jacket. Now before we even cut out the t-shirt, we want to first round out the arms and all that. So give her shoulders. That's not what I was supposed to do. Even with this one. We can just thicken it out. All the way to the hand, the wrist, and the first part of the wrist, not the actual wrist itself. So the jacket portion we're going to thicken. So sides, the axis, and make it thick a little bit. And then we want to take this and want to thicken it out mainly just from because we're going to shrink all the other parts. Yeah, we can just shrink all the other parts except for this arm. So let's get in a good position to select all the arm, and we are going to move it down to a 3D, and we want the wrist to go down too, so it has a palm. And we can We can come back to that. Because that's all be something else. It's a process to do the fingers. So since I have it in my mind, I might as well do it now. After we finish the arm. So bring it down, and then bring this part, the inner part, out on the x-axis. Like that. So we want this to be a curve. Okay. And so, when we have everything correct, I want to add one more loop cut, like so. Basically making the whole model at this point. I just want to help you pass the part you was stuck at, which was the arm, which was extruding and covering the arm and orthographic. And then in flat mode, you can measure it better and then move it back into position. Because right now it's a little bit lower than the shoulder. But anyway, now that we got that done, we want to select this, not that side, and select the back side. How did was I that off? Anyway, want to also select the bottom two sides. Okay. And now that it's boxy, we want to unboxify it by shrinking it. So we want to hold down Alt and then push S, which will shrink it depending on going up or down. And we're gonna shrink it down to make it round, basically. Alt S and make it round. So shrink it down until it's round. And then right here, we want to S scale on the y-axis, bring it in. So now she's a little bit chunky over here. So let's fix that by selecting the whole thing and chopping off the fingers and bring it in on the y-axis. And if you could, we can separate the chest. Let's undo that and separate the chest. So come over here, just get the arm and shrink it. And by arm, I mean the external part. Y-axis. Now the arm is shrunkified. This looks around good enough. Looks round enough. Now we can actually make the jacket cloth after we finish the t-shirt cloth. So we're just about there for a t-shirt. Right now we need to add one more bend to this. So that has 3 bends. So start, middle, end. Start, middle, end. And we're gonna add one for the wrists when we're done. Now, if you don't want to make the shirts and stuff like I do, then you can skip this part and do whatever you want. But I like to make my stuff a little bit more conclusive. So right now I need to bring this up to right here, and then we're going to take this and line it up to the others. So GG and move it up upon the line. And then take the rest, and if you can see the line here, we want to make it at least 3. So now all of this is even, and we have something to bend inside the center. Okay, make it flat. Test if it's in there, in the clipping part. So it is. So now we want to take all of this and make a t-shirt out of it. That's a good stretch. Okay. Oh, before we do that, we still need to round it off. Same with the other parts. So let's select all of this, and then select all of this. And we are going to take out the top part, and take out the bottom part. We don't need that. And we're going to Alt S again. So the best way to see it is from right here. Alt S, and we're going to shrink it down, pull it in, till right around here. And if the hips and everything messes up, we can just fix them by double clicking G and moving them down the line So now you have the legs. If I go back to one, click this one and come back over, come back up, and then click this, both of these and both of these, and move them down around there. And here it's still good. This is flat mode right now. And this we want to size the 0 and move it down. So just G it and move it down some, and we can move it out. Next, make it nice and straight. I noticed it did move downward a little, so we are going to do it the smart way by selecting all of these. Yeah, selecting all of these, and GG in, and like right halfway, and then GG out. That should fix it. Yeah, that should fix it. And this one, we want to GG in a little bit more. There you go. GG in. And to fix this part, we need to GG out. And then we can select all this. GG in. Here we go. Didn't quite go in as much, so GG in, GG out. And we want to go in and make it halfway, make it evenly matched. The squares want to be a little bit more even in the center here, so you can see it better. I'm gonna make it even on the center, so it's nice and round. So we did that one. We can select this one and bring it out. Let's make sure we can see it. Get this one too. So now we can see that the body is complete. Of course, we can add a little bit more stylistic details, but I'm not going to get to that with this model. Of course, I need to save, so let me save it. Okay, save complete. Alright, so let's continue. So this is the front, this is the back. So let's add a little bit of detail, and then we'll actually, let me just get the shirt first. I'll turn this back on. I need to eat in a little bit. Da-da. I should eat now. Yeah, let me eat now. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay, and we're back. And so now we are going to finish the shirt. The shirt is what I was doing. So let's highlight all the shirt pieces now that we have the body. Cute one. Okay, this is. Let's name some stuff. Boots. And let's select all the parts that we need. You don't really need to worry about the top half right now. We could worry about it a little. Let's worry about the neck real quick. Make it smaller. Create these two. These four. Y-axis. Okay. Side. Y-axis. And of course, bring this one. These two right here to here, outward. Actually, let's bring these in. These two in. Not too worried about that. Let's look at this. You know, just round it out a little bit. I want the top part to be rounded out. I don't know how that happened by just selecting one. I have to look back at the camera and see what happened. I don't know how I got all the way out there. Anyway. I'll spend 1 more hour on this, and then I'll send it over to you. And I wish you well for learning all these things. And we can shrink this a little bit. Size, sorry. Alright, once more with these. These 4. 2 in the back, 2 in the front. Second to that one. Pull these back out a little bit. Just to give it some depth. Like this. There we go. And so on. Okay. Now we have that all set up. We are going to go to straight mode, flat mode, sorry, and which is 1. Push 1 on the keyboard, push 3 to see it from the sideways view. 1 on the keyboard for this view. And we are going to come out of here after selecting all of that. We are going to duplicate this and go in here and push Control I, delete vertices. Well, except for this part right here. Control drag, then select that, and then delete vertices. Because I wanted this t-shirt part to be a bit longer. And we can name this T dot shirt. Anyway. There we go. Okay. And we're gonna select all of this, and we're going to Alt S and Imbigonate. Alt S and Imbigonate just a little bit, like right. Oh no. Let's try it again. Alt S just a little bit. Select all, please. S. Alt S. Alt S. It's like enlarge it just a little bit. All right. Now we can go to this mode. Yes. We can see it a little bit better. Or not. Solid. Take this off. Make it visible. Yeah. Looks like it has that little pivot even before I did anything. So now, I keep pinky tapping my phone, it's distracting me. Let's make sure that everything enlarged in the right direction, which it did on the back here. It went inwards. And something tells me that I did not properly do this part in the shirt area. I was looking at the back, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I didn't. So let's go to transparency mode and pull this side out, because I totally forgot about it. It's dented. You don't want to go past the shirt, t-shirt. And you can see the general area right here, in which it collides with the shirt and then does it. Alright. Now you can see it. You can see that it's length above. Alright, t-shirt is complete. Now to do the same thing. Oops. Okay. Now to do the same thing for the jacket, and then we can fix the body a little bit. Right now the body is as big and thick as the jacket. We don't need it to be less thick. We don't need this, so we just need all the way until the wrist. There you go. And I'm trying to make it see-through. For some reason it's not. Oh. Solid. Now I'll do it. Okay. So, material mode, you see the materials. Solid mode, you'll see through it. Okay. And the jacket goes down to her... down past her hips a little bit. But we can work with coming down to her hips right here. And we can put it down later on. And we are going to come out of there. Duplicate what we have selected. Control D. Make a copy. Right click to center back into it, or push escape. And then go into it. And do the same thing as we did with t-shirt. And Control I. And delete vertices. And then I'm going to move on to the pants. I'm going to let you figure out what to do with the jacket. The outside of the jacket. I'm not going to bother styling it too much. I'll leave that to you. I'll do a little bit of style, but not too much. As to not deter your stylistic choices. But with the jacket selected, undo that. We are going to embiggenate. So select all this. Select all this, not Windows key. We can do it to both of these. Shift Alt select to get a ring selected. Be careful where you click, because you might get a vertical ring if you select the inside of the ring right here instead of the outside, instead of the ring right inside of the line right there. So that can happen a lot when you try to Alt Shift select something. Anyway, so I'm gonna move this down. Actually, I'm not gonna move it down. I'll move this up. So right now it's selecting the outside of the ring, but we don't want that. We just want the first ring. Don't ask what happened. If you hold down Shift and click, it'll create parts of where you want things. So if I just wanted to have a jacket come off like this, I can have the jacket come out like that. But we don't want that. And that's Control and click. And but right now we're trying to get this little jacket leaf. So let's go back to one view, and we are going to we can do it that way. Turn this off right now, so we can have the same measurement. Move this down to where the jacket's listed in, and enlarge a little bit. This S a little bit out until this is outward. Until this is outward like that, and here's where we need the other ring. So we are going to turn this on, and we're going to pull this whole jacket outward. So the reason why we still have the front instead of cutting it already is because when we enlarge it like this, we want it to enlarge in like a ring shape. But we can still work with a cut through. But I'm just doing it the simple way possible. Anyway, back to front row view. We're going to turn this on and turn it up. And since we're on a flat surface, it's automatically going to move it outward for us. There you go. Alright. And here's where it separates. Because we want this to straighten up a little bit so we can make this curve. So S, bring it down low, and X, and straighten it out. Alright. Turn off this, and we are going to slide around the ring. This inner ring by double G, and this should come down. So GG, GG. Move it down this ring. Be sure the spacing is even. And I want to get this. Don't need all of this. I do want this one too. And we're gonna GG, move it across this line. There you go. GG this one. I'll move this one back now. Alright, so now we have a straight like line that we can manipulate for the front jacket line. And we want to take this line. We want the clock from pressing space. Sorry. Make sure that's 0. Oh, and since we're here on the jacket, we want a jacket. It's in capitals. Jacket. If that's spelled wrong, oh well. You can spell it right. And we're going to double tap this one. Hold on. Tap this one, bring it out there. Select this ring. Double tap G for this one. We can end. Not too much because this is on a curve, so we'll end the curve. So we don't want to do that too much. But what we do want to do is push it out back a little bit. So we want to select this curve, do it here, and move it back on the y-axis. Okay, not too far back. Move these two back on y-axis. Not too far back. Okay, and I noticed I didn't get all of this. That's fine. We want to make this straight, like that. And we want to make sure this is on and make it bigger. That's and make sure that the loop is going over this part right here. Actually, I already feel comfortable Alt S-ing right here. Also Alt S and bring it up. I'm trying to get into nice, and we can select this. Actually, select no, Alt S, going up a little bit. That's too far. That's good enough. So from there to there, not that much of a big difference, but it caters to the curve we see here. And we're going to make sure that this is set down flat by going down on the z-axis. Let's shrink it a little bit. Right there. And then on the axis. Make it bigger. Touching this ring right here. There you go. There you go. Now it's flat, so when she moves her arm down to her side, it'll go down to the sides like so. And we have a nice rounded jacket now. and it's nice and big. If you take off that, you can see that it's nice, rounded, and big. Alright, now that we have the shape checked out, which we should have did this before we did all of this, but I trust it not to mess up. We want to Alt S again and make it bigger. There you go. Now it's above everything else. I need to go to wireframe so I can see all the wires, make sure all the lines are matching up. Whew, I am tired. Alright, so now we can get rid of this one. The frontal lobe. That's like everything apparently. So let's unselect everything else other than the front section. And delete that. Vertices. Make sure there's no holes and I didn't select the wrong thing. Okay. For consistency's sake, we want to select this and go to this preview settings. Oh no, image settings. Both. We're just gonna go to front only. That way, when I go in the back, we won't see it because I don't know if that might be confusing you, but it's confusing me a little. There. Now we can only see it when we're in front. We don't need to see it while we're in the back. Not right now, at least. So we have everything lined up, and we have 2 more minutes before I start working on the shoes for 30 minutes. And then I'll call it quits. And you can take it from here. I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna leave the hair and all that to you as well. I'm sorry, but I can only do so much at a time limit. Maybe I'll come back to this. But at this point, you might as well let me make it for you. Pay me to make it for you at this point. Let's see. We are going here, and we are now on the jacket length. And the jacket is lining up perfectly now. This line is going straight up. Yeah. Straight up into it. And we can take this off and move this freely. Move this freely a little. Move this down. And in. The reason why I'm doing that is because this needs to come up. We need to make the color. Now, see, this is artistry at its finest when it's just a character, right? So it's not projected by hold on. Okay, I had to do something real quick. Okay, I'm back now. But anyway, as I was saying, this is an artistry pose problem, which is that the model wouldn't look 100% like this. It wouldn't look as flat, basically. So if we select this, and I pushed the wrong thing. Rewinding time. I pushed space instead of out. I was like, why is it still selecting one thing? It should be selecting a lot. Anyway, select this color, and it goes basically down all the way. So let's select this and unselect the bottom. Oh, well, we need the curves to match the other part, so we do want that. So it's all of that coming up and over to the right. So extrude up and over to the right. And right there is what we want. Let's move it forward a little. Well, we can stop all of this from moving forward. And we can move this one forward. This half forward. Move it down, back down. Alright. So now we have a color. And I'm going to make this a 2-piece. And we can always bevel it if we want to make more wrinkles. So let's select the whole color again. And extrude it. Extrude it up and out. Again, unselecting that. And here's where we work with it. I know it's getting a little bit sloppy, but that's how it is with modeling. But we don't need to see the whole thing anymore, so we can just take it from here. So we want this to go over here. This to follow. Follow. Oops. And I'm assuming that all of this would come up as well. So let's bring all of this up. Stop that. I double clicked, I'm sorry. Turn this on. Shrink this. And of course, bring this up. Alright. So now we have the color. First half. Now we need to see the color. So the other half would need to be... Oh, this is an orthographic flat mode. So bring this over here. Back to flat mode. Bring this. Oh, before I do that, I want to connect it only. That's what I was missing. That's why everything was horribly disforming. Make sure you click connected only. That way, if I move this, it will only move the surrounding parts around it. It won't move the whole thing. Like if I take these two and move it down with this on, it will only move the surrounding next to it. It won't move the general area. Okay, sorry. My lips needed attending to. Oh, this needs to be brought forward. No, over to the right. Okay. Now it's not clipping. And we'll check the clipping by selecting all of this. And make sure that they're one after another in most areas. Like this one needs to follow the line a little bit more. This doesn't matter if you double click G, so it's only going to go across the line. I wish it could drag along the line with all the other surroundings, but it's good that it does it sometimes. And again, you can delete all the other parts that it's not being shown, so you have a little bit of a T in front, and you don't have to do this full T. I like to make my things have portions to where the body is separate from the jacket, so you can actually see the layers, which I need to do the pants after I finish doing the jacket. Saving. Buffy, yummy, yummy. And we're going to go back to just the jacket now that the clipping has been fixed. And we're going to work with the collarbone. Double G, move it back into place. Double G, move this back into place. Back to orthographic. Shrink this. And we can move this we can move this along the axis. Turn this off. Let's double G it to smooth it out. Make it visible. And here he is! Here we are! Now this is double-sided because this inner jacket is not visible. If you go to the faces over here, it should be one of these. Oh, here it is. See? The gray area is good, which should be green or blue, but it's normal, I guess. So let's fix that, shall we? So for this, we are going to go invisible, go down here, make it see-through, and all this is selected, nothing else. Saving. Extrude. Shrink it. Extrude again. X-axis. And move it in and shrink it. There. That will give it the illusion of it being 3D when, or not 3D, the illusion of it being sleeved when it's actually just a hollow tube right here. And now you see no red around here. So now let's fix this general area. So we want this ring, this ring, this ring, and this ring. And this outer edge, which I got all of it. And to fix this one, we're just going to extrude and move it the direction it says. And because it's in a negative area already, it's not going to give it to me right away. But since I have this selected, and I can easily select this, we are going to go into faces and edit mesh, faces, and we are going to where's flip? Actually, the best way to do this is to Control N, no, Shift N, Alt N. Which one is it? I guess Alt N. But it's supposed to be in faces. Yeah. Ah, here it is. Flip normals. And now we want to unselect this one. Oh, unselect this one and this one. Stupid thing like this. Click twice. And we can bring it inward. So, Alt S, bring it down. That won't work. Never mind. Ah, I messed up. I did not get these two. That's what I'm looking at. Here we go. For some reason, it wasn't part of the list. Alright, now we can extrude a little bit. Make it thick. Not too thick, though. Extrude in all areas. Want to select this other end and flip normals. I guess it's already selected. Flip normals. Why is it flipping all of it? Why is all of this selected? Anyway, unselect the back half and select the front half. Hold on. Did it not make it? Okay. For some reason it's not doing what I wanted to do. Extrude. Move in. Unselect these. Why is it only moving this part? Okay. Oh, I see what's going on. You're being a little butt. So when things like this happen, where it doesn't want to extrude the right way, we do it our way by duplicating, moving it in, up, flip normals, and moving it inward, making it so thick, only so thick. That's Control Shift D to duplicate, and then flip normals. On the last one. Alright, and then we take the N and select these four, and we push F, and then we select these two, and if you don't have Alt F, I can go until 11:30. What am I looking for? What's this? If you don't have F2 mesh turned on, come here and turn on, go to add-ons, turn on F2, and then save. And then you'll be able to do this. F, 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 oops, F, 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 F. And now we have a nice filled in section. And now to do the same thing we did with the other one, we select all of this. We don't need the upper half because we can. I'm going to do it by its section, so we're going to do the upper half separately. So from this one inward, the rest inward, we're going to extrude. And we're going to shrink it down just a little bit. Now we need to make sure that these are all in the right place. Before we extrude again. With this part, we are good. We'll make sure we are in a good position to extrude again. Now what I could have done is select all the vest parts and duplicate the sheen hair, flip vertices, and fill it in the rest. But we're going to do it the hard way by selecting the bottom half. Get rid of all that. Wait. Yeah, it's on stuff there. And we're going to separate it from right here and connect it again. E, S, pull it in, pull it up. Control S, X, pull it in, not too far. Move it in, X, too far. Size it in, X out. Make sure that the layer. It would be a lot easier if I had the rest of this over here still selected, but I don't. So it's still going to be awkward. So let's fix that awkwardness. Unselect that. Move. Unselect that. And move this one and y-axis. Then do it again. After moving it up. And shrinking it down. And drinking it x-axis. Moving it in x-axis. Okay, we undo that one. And just move this one. Moving up by extruding. Next layer. Shrink it down. Alright, well this is all the time I can spend on this right now. But essentially, what I would do at the end is leave this untethered. We go up one more layer to right here, and let me just show you. Go up one more layer to right here. And then I would start by connecting these by pushing M and last. Make sure that you don't get the wrong side. Okay, so this is how it looks so far. And I say that's a complete yes in my book. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and we'll come back and do the feet, the shoes, the boots, later. In the pants. I totally forgot about the pants. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something. And I'll see you in the next video of whatever I make. Until then, I'll see you later. Ma, today, Gina.